Hello everyone, this is Psysoldier here. Welcome back to our Let's Play Dominions 4, Ulm Storm of Vampires. It is now early winter in year 7 of the Ascension Wars, and we have cast a number of spells here. Norm Lore, we actually did not find anything. Arcane Probing, we didn't find anything. Dark Knowledge, again, nothing. We did cast Revive Banelord, so we will have yet another of our wonderful Banelord thugs to kit out with some stuff to kill the enemies with. And we found a fire site in the Hungry Sea. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. It is a sparkling current. So we are now up to 6 fire gems per turn. And continuing on, we cast Voice of a Spoo. We did not find anything. Harspec's nothing. We found a death site in the Shiny Ocean. Let's check that one out. It is a black coral reef. So we've just increased our fire gem income by another 1 per turn. And we cast Augury again. We didn't find anything. And we found a astral site in Chibia. Let's check that one out. A Seer's Grave. So that's 1 astral pearl per turn, and it reveals magic score graphs. I suppose if you had score graphs off and you had that site, maybe then it would actually give you the score graphs. But I don't think it's actually going to do anything for us because we already have the score graphs enabled. Speaking of which, I just want to take a look at that. We're kind of falling behind in research here. For a while there, we were actually in 2nd place, but we are more like 5th place now, actually. Army size. Our army size is increasing. I guess it's mostly because we have a lot of vampires that are not dying. We did lose, I think, a total of 9 vampires so far this game. Dominion. We are actually under Agartha's Dominion, and he's actually making a slight comeback there. Gem income, we're doing pretty good there. We've shot up to 2nd place now. Regular income, we are in 1st place. Forts, we're not doing too hot on that particular point, and with provinces, we are actually the 2nd largest nation in the game. I think, who is 1st here? That's somebody green. Who has green? That would be Pangea. So green is actually, or Pangea is actually 1st place in provinces. Where are they at, anyways? Is that? No, I don't think that's Pangea. Well, I'm seeing a lot of Minotaurs, so that probably would indeed be them. Okay, anyways, continuing on here. We've cast Bind Demon Lord, and we gained Ashmedai. Let's take a look at him. In our capital province here. That would be him right there. He is a Fire 4, Astral 3, Blood 5. So he's actually quite good here. He spreads chaos. That's not exactly great for us. And he's a gem generator. I guess that means he probably gains blood slaves every month. And he causes unrest. Probably about the best thing we can do with him is go ahead and outfit him for battle. And let's go ahead and get him to assist our armies in actually taking over some provinces here. Just want to see if there's anything we can actually give him immediately. He doesn't have any death magic, so I'm not sure that the Sickle Whose Trapper's Pain would be particularly great for him. His map movement is 3, so he can go ahead and move that far. checking out the rest of this stuff. Didn't find anything with arcane probing. We found a pretty good amount of blood slaves there. Mabakil tried to assassinate Guy the Diabolist. Let's take a look at that. Alright, so we killed him, and then we had a battle in Snowford. Our forces have defeated the attacking force from Marignon, and all that we lost were 5 devils, 1 Black Templar, 2 thralls, and 2 mermen. So we did actually quite good there. Let's go ahead and check out this battle. And it looks like Marignon's got a pretty decent army there. Just looking at the two armies, I would say that they are superior to ours. But they don't quite have the magic that we do. Nor do they have the imps. And the imps are what is really going to make the difference here. Let's speed things up a bit. Got somebody just sitting there horror marking a bunch of them. Every turn we're generating this amount of imps right here, which is more than enough to keep them busy. Here goes the 2 mermen that we lost. So yeah, every turn they are losing troops, and so far we haven't really lost anything. They're just killing these imps that don't matter for anything for us. And our Black Templars are about to get involved in this. And so anyways, I have kind of canceled the way that we were doing the communions before. I actually can go ahead and throw these guys into communion too. I'm strongly considering forging lots of slave crystals, or what is it, slave matrices, I guess you would call them. That way we can give those to, say, our people like this right here who have no astral magic, and they can actually be a part of a communion. And a few more of the master or what would be crystal matrices. That way we can make some of the, say, fire and earth priests into communion masters. And once again, that's going to allow all of the communion slaves to be affected by Phoenix Pyre, which basically would make them all immortal for the battles. That way we're not going to lose any of our mages if worse comes to worse. It would have to come to really bad to actually lose that many of them. Alright. So the imps are definitely working out for us here, as they are cutting off these guys from their retreat. And they are all going to die, which is great news for us. And this battle is basically over. Yeah. He's got nothing left there. Alright, wonderful. So, we actually killed 261 of their troops and we lost 10 of ours. And actually 2 of the 10 were completely inconsequential. 2 thralls and 2 mermen, so really the only thing we lost there were 5 devils and 1 Black Templar. Everything else was completely non-important. So we also had a battle in Sirmiok here. Looks like Joman is trying to relieve their army and attack us. And this is the army where we have our communion set up. So you can see everyone casting Communion Slave to become a part of the communion. And we've got all of our Black Templars just kind of holding position for the time being. I think I'm going to pop out some more of those lifelong protection contracts. I've got quite a few people in these armies that don't actually have one equipped right now. Got a water lens there. I guess I can take that from him and give it to somebody that can actually use it. I believe I actually have a number of guys that have picked up some items that they can't really use. And we've got our old Banelord moving into combat. I think he's probably about to be passed by all these Templars. I mean, some Boots of Flying would be kind of nice so that he can definitely get to where he's trying to get to. But, it's hard to pass up those Boots of Quickness that's going to allow him to attack twice per turn and increase his defense skill. I think I'd rather have him doing more damage and being less susceptible to enemy attacks than for him to fly around wherever the heck he wants. You can see he's already taken some damage here. And that is with 29 in defense skill right now. He definitely does some damage when he attacks, though. If you mix a few more of those guys in, they're going to be hurting the enemy wherever they are attacking. We've got our imps are kind of starting to pile up now. Okay. Our wonderful little communion here is working out quite nicely. And as usual, a large portion of the enemy army is just sitting there fighting imps. We've got some of our Black Templars that are penetrating a little too deeply into the enemy army, though. These guys here are a little more likely to die. Yeah, you can see some of them are already taking pretty bad damage. They're taking damage themselves. And unfortunately our Banelord is kind of getting stuck behind everyone. Alright. And we actually have their Pretender God paralyzed for about 15 turns. Just trying to see what he's got equipped. Overcharged. I'm not sure what that is. Population Killer. This much population will die from the current province every month. So I guess whenever he's in a province, people start to die. It's kind of interesting. Oh, he's got Ritual of Returning. So this commander will instantly return to the main citadel if he is wounded in combat. So that means we're not going to be able to kill him here. Unless you were to, say, kill him with a single hit. With something like Soul Slay. He's got 18 magic resistance. We could definitely script some of our mages to do spells like Soul Slay, though. Looks like our imps are kind of beginning to cut off the enemy's retreat. Still need to generate some more of them, though. I kind of got them sandwiched in between here and our Black Templars. That guy's actually kind of joining the battle now. Kogiai the Hamatu. Oh, no. Haramoto. Sinichai the Haramoto. I guess these are their mounted commanders. They've got 100 leadership. They're not terribly bad. I think Gelman's commanders may have better skills but less protection. 11 strength, 13 attack, 15 defense. Yeah, I guess they do have better attack and defense because this guy's got a +2 experience bonus, so he would have less than that normally. That's kind of the main difference between Gelman and Ulm. Ulm has more protection and slightly less skill. There is, however, something to be said for a large amount of protection. Alright, so the imps are doing their bloody work. They're about to cut everyone off. And once we damage this guy, he's going to automatically return to his home province. So there he went. And I guess these guys are going to die now. Alright, excellent. So I believe that was Sermiak here. Where is it? So they had 450 troops and they lost 388. And we lost 29 Long Dead, 11 Black Templars, and 1 Soulless Warrior. That is all that we lost. So we actually did quite good there. Killed one of their Red Devils. Would have been great if we could have killed their Pretender God again, but unfortunately that wasn't going to happen. Okay. And so we found a sneaking enemy, and it looks like Mabakil, our assassin, was actually discovered after he assassinated someone. So he's stuck here fighting this giant army. I don't expect that to go well for him. Suppose if he had, say... Yeah. He needs an air shield. He's actually going to die before he can ever do anything, I think, here. Yep, he is sadly going to die, just like that. And it looks like our other guy was actually found out. This was our vampire count that we had sent up here to try and retrieve these vampires that we have in this province. We may have to try something slightly more forceful here. Like sending a lot of vampires in force. And it looks like our blood vortex has absorbed 56 blood slaves. We gained some magic and misfortune. People are leaving one of our provinces. And we found some earth gems. Okay. Let's take a look down here. Yeah, it might actually be quite good for us to go ahead and outfit our Archdevil for combat and send him to kill some people and support one of these armies. We can do the same with this guy as well. He should be fairly effective. Actually, let's see if there's anything he can forge for us here. He can forge Protection of Geryon, the Ruby Eye. Ruby Eye is not bad. That thing, basically it just increases his fire magic. Ah, he can actually forge the Immaculate Shield. Unfortunately, I can't really declare a profit or anything, so I'm not sure that that's going to do terribly much good for us. It's kind of nice, though. You can also forge the Sword of Justice. And the Twin Spear. Let's see what other items we can also potentially forge. Yeah, I don't think she can really do much. Take a look at our Disciple, our Vampire Queen. She can forge a few halfway decent items, I think. That one would be perhaps a little fun to do. The Harvest Blade, which would cut people's legs off. That would be interesting to see, at least. Could potentially forge the Scepter of Dark Regency, which would also be quite nice. And the Scepter of Corruption. I think I'm going to have somebody forge that. Sword of Justice. I mean, if I could declare a profit, it would be kind of great to actually forge some of these. Something like the Immaculate Shield. But not actually being able to declare a profit, I'm not sure how much good that would do for us here. Prison of Fire. The spell works like Bonds of Fire, but it affects a larger number of units. That could be perhaps kind of fun anyways. It has an area effect of 3, actually 3 plus, and 3 effects, or actually 1 effect. How does that work? Area effect of 3 plus, but only 1 effect. I'm not exactly sure that I understand that. Maybe it's just a giant cage that closes over 3 or more squares? I don't know. Well, what exactly was he doing here? He spreads chaos. That's decreasing the amount of income we have in this province right here. Let's see what we can pick up here. Go ahead and give these Black Templars here, maybe down to our vampire count, and work on moving him back up there. I think I would prefer just to get him out of there than to have him forging stuff. Okay. Taking a look here. We could forge a Sword of Swiftness. We can do Boots of Quickness. I like both of those, actually. Let's go ahead and start with the Boots of Quickness. So he's got 86 hit points, 14 attack, 11 defense, 12, and he's a 15, 15, 13. He's actually better in combat. He's got an enchanted sickle. It's a halfway decent weapon. What is he using? He's using a fist. So obviously his fist isn't particularly great. Okay. Let's go look again here. Considering forging a Wraith Sword, we also have the Sword of Injustice and Wound Flame. Wound Flame costs 20 magic gems. I think we're actually going to forge that Wound Flame here. The Twin Spear here is actually kind of nice as well. Actually, I think I very well may have someone with Death and Astral that can forge that. Say this little fortune teller right here. So let's go ahead and have her do that. That will free up our pretender here to do perhaps something more important. What ritual spell can she cast here? Could do another Demon Lord. Infernal Forces. The Infernal Forces summons and binds several devils and 20 imps. Yeah, that doesn't particularly seem great to me. can send a horror. Let's go ahead and do the Demon Lord again. How many are there? One of the Demon Lords. It just says there are but a few. Doesn't say how many. But we'll see which one we get anyways. And you got most of these guys summoning allies. Let's go ahead and have him cast Curse of Blood. And take a look here. What else can we forge that is going to be useful for us? To be honest, nothing there is seeming particularly useful. I guess a horror helmet might help out some. He can cast something like a Wound Flame. Can do Wraith Crowns, but I don't have the skill to cast that one. Let's go ahead, I think. Let's stick with the Curse of Blood here. Let's just have one of these guys, like him. I don't want to do that. I want to forge. And let's have him forge the horror helmet, I think. Alright. So we're forging some Boots of Quickness. We're forging the Twin Spear. We're casting Bind Demon Lord. And we are forging a few other things here. Let's have these guys go ahead and research, perhaps? I don't know. So we can go ahead and start moving them up there. Got a few more vampires that we can send into combat here as well. I may just go ahead and on the next turn send all of our vampires and vampire counts up here and attack at Ausense. Maybe we can go ahead and relieve Agartha at their capital. And are we building a... I was kind of thinking that we were actually building something here, but I'm not seeing that. In order to build a castle, it's going to take 1,000 gold, which we do have. And we need to go ahead and remove our priests. Let's give, well, I would give them to him, but he can't control any more troops. Let's give these guys to him. Send him on back down there. Give them to him. Move him up there. And we can actually recruit some more of these guys. That will help out a little bit. We should be able to take this one on the next turn. Not this following turn, but the turn after that. Okay. And I could go ahead and attack this next turn, but I'm not exactly sure that I have the numbers to win a battle there. Once these guys end up joining, I think that will help significantly. Let's go ahead and preach right here, I think. What is this? Ancient Master. Enter for combat training. I don't care anything about that. Not searching for magic sites either. We're going to preach here. Just like we are preaching there. Okay, checking our magic item treasury. We do have the Infernal Sword. Not entirely sure who I might want to give that to. The Gift of Kurgai. That could be interesting to give to, say, either our Archdevil or Ashmedai, the Prince of Lust. He's always accompanied by a handful of demon lovers. I mean, he's got some good magic paths there anyways. Let's go ahead and check these guys' spells that they're going to cast. We are going to start out with maybe Phoenix Power, and then Phoenix Pyre. After that, we could do perhaps Cold Resistance, or actually Resist Cold, and do you believe Fire Shield, and then we're going to have him just attack the closest enemy. And for him, he is going to start out with Phoenix Pyre, and then switch to Personal Luck. After that, he can cast Body Ethereal, and then I think Resist Magic, Fire Shield, and attack closest enemy. I don't know. We need to give him some equipment so he's actually a little more useful in battle. We've got both of them moving up here, summoning plenty of guys there. Let's go ahead and move our Bane Lord Wormwood up here. Got him researching. And let's build a couple of our crystal matrices here. Find out who all has... That's the only guys that have Astral and Earth right there. So we'll have them forge those. Quite a long ways from being able to forge the Gatestone there. But at least we can forge these. Let's go for... I don't know, a couple slave matrices. And... doesn't look like there's anyone there that can do it. Now he can forge something. He can forge one. That's the only guys here that can do it. So... slave matrix, and let's go ahead and forge a crystal matrix. You can research. Let's do some more forging slave matrices. Let's do one more of the crystal matrix. That'll work. And what else can we forge here? Got an amulet of anti-magic. And let's do some bracers of protection there. We're binding our Demon Lord. We are using up most of our blood slaves. I believe I can go ahead and have him forge another one of these lifelong protection contracts. We can use that to bump things up again slightly. Okay. I think we're kind of pretty much ready here. Could potentially see our enemy attack us again here. And old Negro Morbin there's got a chest wound. Let's go ahead and move him over here. Well, ultimately we want to move him over there. Guess we can't quite do that yet. Okay. How many vampires? We've got 55 vampires there. Let's go ahead and start moving them over here as well. Because I really need to help out Gartha there. I don't really anticipate falling under terrible attack there. Let's switch two more of these guys to preaching. I don't want that to fall under enemy dominion. So, got a few guys here that maybe need to be switched over to researching. He's still building a citadel. And he can research. Looks like, well, he needs to research. And so does he. Okay, looks like they all are. And he can preach. Alright then. Got a pretty decent army there. All these thralls are starting to kind of add up a bit. Once I send these vampires up here to attack this province, I can give all the thralls to a couple of these guys and let them patrol the province. He needs to research. Okay. I do believe we are all set here to advance the turn. Let's go ahead and end the turn, and we'll end the video as well. So as always, if you enjoy our videos, I hope you'll like and subscribe, and we will see you again soon. Thank you very much.